follow eastward boats on a 500-mile Florida adventure. 2 anglers traveling 500 miles. From inshore to freshwater, out into the Gulf of Mexico, down to the Everglades, around the Keys, and back up the Atlantic coast. Follow the route tracked in real time by onboard GPS. Meet the captains who helped us plan, and ride along as we share the sights we saw and conditions we encountered on our 500-mile trip around the bottom half of the state.
Wow, that is a monster shark!
That guy is full grown.
Look at the size of that shark.
Second leg of the trip, we're going to leave Roland and Marianne Martin's Marina in Clewiston, and we're going to get back in the Okeechobee Waterway, go down to Clewiston, and we're going to stay in Cape Coral, or really for practical purposes, Fort Myers. And we're going to be staying in a vacation home on the water, right on the Clewiston. Leaving out of Roland and Marianne Martin's Marina, you once again pass back through the Clewiston Lock and you hang a left. This puts you in the rim canal of Lake Okeechobee and brings you up to Moorhaven, where you pick up the Clewiston River. We had a few crickets left from the day before, so we decided to hit a few lily pad patches before getting underway to Fort Myers. This is a Mayan cichlid. We also caught some brim and some shell crackers. If you've never done this type of fishing before, you should give it a try. It's really a lot of fun. But to really get the day started off right, Skip caught the monster of the day.
Yeah! Look at this! Woo! Oh my word! Look at this fish on this little tiny pole.
Look at that. That is awesome. Look at that. Baby. Get you some of that. Here. What is that? I don't even know what it is. That's awesome. Whatever it is.
Turns out it was a tilapia, and he caught it on a little tiny brim hook and a cricket. Not thinking we could top that catch, we decided to get underway and head for the Moorhaven Lock to get into the Clewiston River. Once you get into the Clewiston, you pretty much just follow the river all the way to Fort Myers. We did have one scheduled stop in LaBelle to meet up with Captain Charlie Phillips, who was going to meet us later at Port of the Islands in the Everglades. But first we had to clear the lock in Ortona. On this particular day, we had an 8-foot drop in water level to cycle through.
I'm looking forward to this trip. Thank y'all so much for having me along. Really
I'm glad you're going, because one, we get your expertise. I mean, you know that area, and it's going to be an area that we're going to need a little guidance. Captain Charlie Phillips has been guiding out of the Everglades for years, so we figured tapping into his local knowledge would be a good idea.
Charlie, thank you, brother.
I'll see you in a day.
Thanks, brother.
Thank you. See you in a day.
We were soon back underway and noticed that this part of the Clewiston River has a lot more development. It was nice to be able to look down at our Raymarine electronics to keep track of our progress and to know exactly where we were. The run from LaBelle to Fort Myers, or actually Cape Coral, which is where we were staying, was relatively short. The river gets much wider here, and the channel is well marked. Once we reached Fort Myers, we decided to stop in at the Fort Myers Yacht Basin and top off our fuel tank. Our route was tracked in real time by an Atlas Trax GPS and showed that we had traveled a total of 150 miles. I was pleasantly surprised to see that our G2 Evinrude only burnt 32 gallons of fuel to go 150 miles. That's 4.68 miles to the gallon. From the marina, it was just a short hop to the vacation rental home we were staying in at Coral Point. When traveling by boat, it's a nice change of pace to stay in a home rather than a hotel. There are many vacation rental homes like this one available on the waterfront that you can get for a weekend or an entire week. Our host could not have been nicer and helped us with directions to the local restaurant.
Easiest to get to by boat. You pass two along the way that are actually pretty good.
But if you come back out here, you gotta come out far enough because it's really low out here. And then come up the Chantry Canal, and then you would turn here at Meade and go up to the Honolulu, make a left, and it'll be on your right before you get to the bridge. It's kind of a sports bar type place.
We had made dinner plans earlier with Captain Greg Stamper so he could show us some areas to fish the next morning before heading out to Port of the Islands.
Once you come out here and you come down here past the Cape Cool Bridge, the big bridge, the very last bridge you have here. From this point down is where you're going to start thinking about fishing. Now, over here is Palmetto Point, and this is called Deep Cove in here. But if you get in a deep lagoon on these side spots right here where there's no homes, you're going to have a lot of flats that come out 50, 60, 70 yards in a lot of cases. But they're going to be 2 feet deep. Okay? You're going to have a foot of water plus on the tide already, so you can get in here and roll down these shorelines.
In our next segment, we'll do a little fishing before leaving Fort Myers to head for Port of the Islands in the Everglades. Brought to you by Eastward Boats, Evinrude Outboards, Ray Marine Electronics, FLIR Thermal Imaging, Armstrong Nautical Products, Paramount Chemicals, TH Marine, Sea Knees, Oceanic Gear, Magic Chill Trailers, and these other fine sponsors. Accommodations by Roland and Marianne Martin's Marina, Angler House Marina, and Port of the Islands. In our next segment, we run from Fort Myers to Port of the Islands in the Everglades.